Hello, my charmed ones, and welcome back to my channel for another video. And if this is your first time with me, I would like to say welcome. My name is Alexis, but I'm also known as MissTrenchcoat all across the internet. I help ambitious women plan for a balanced and successful life using my CEO strategy and master plan systems. And today I have something a little bit different for you guys, but I think it's something that you guys are really going to enjoy because I think it's something that many of us really need to hear. So today we're going to be talking about 5 money mindset shifts that every woman needs to make right now. Now, I understand that for a lot of people, the idea that the way you think about and feel about money doesn't impact how much you earn or how much of it you'll have or save or how much wealth you'll grow. But time after time, we see that limiting beliefs around money that were instilled in us in childhood usually really impact the way that we interact with money and the way we think about it and anything that has to do with money. So it may not actually be currency we're talking about, but we're talking really about financial abundance, right? The way you interacted with or were taught to interact with money in the past is likely limiting what you think is possible for you and how much you can earn and how much you're allowed to have. And all of the abundance you're allowed to experience, right, is limited by that early childhood experience. So by working on our money mindset, we're able to actually see more opportunity in the world for earning income and feel better about that and stop playing it small, essentially, when it comes to our own financial literacy and empowerment and what we think we're worth, right? Because ladies, you, I, all of us, we are all so worthy. We are all equally worthy of abundance and money and security and stability in our lives, right? And it's up to us to take the reins of what we think and believe and how we feel about money if we're going to improve our financial situation wherever you are now, wherever you'd love to be, right? It's within the realm of possibility for you. We are all equal. We are all worthy of it. Okay, so that's the first thing that I want to say. Now, if you notice that I'm like looking out over here, I bought an iPad. Some of you guys know this if you follow me on Instagram, and I have my notes on my little iPad thing here, and it's a little magical keyboard thing. So I'm looking off to the side here to keep track of what these points are. So like I said, these are 5 shifts. So really, there are 5 things that I want us to stop doing and start, interacting better when it comes to the concept of money and finance and success and financial abundance and all that wonderful stuff. Okay, so shift number 1 that we need to make is, and I know this is going to hit home with a lot of people, and I got to say, like, this whole conversation might be a little triggering, but in a good way. Like, I really think it's triggering in a good way. It's like the things that you really need to hear, like, stop sabotaging yourself, girlfriend. You know what I mean? So shift number 1 is that we need to stop judging the price of things that we do not even want. Okay, so something that I noticed that women do a lot, and men may do this as well, and I know I'm talking to women today because women are my audience. So whenever I say women, it doesn't mean that I'm excluding men. It's just I know who my audience is, and we're talking about this, and it's really important for me to empower women around money, okay? So I do notice, though, that women have a tendency to do this a lot, which is, let's say you are like sitting here like watching YouTube videos, like you're watching me here on YouTube, and you're watching some other videos. Maybe you're watching your favorite influencer's favorites video, and she's showing some things that she likes, and she gets to something that's really freaking pricey. Let's say it's something like a Dyson Airwrap. Okay. I just feel like I see Dyson Airwraps and people are always like appalled at how much money it costs. So I think it's a good example to use. So you're watching this video and let's be really honest here. You have no need for a Dyson Airwrap. Maybe you keep your hair short. Maybe your hair game is great. Like, you don't need a Dyson Airwrap. It's not something you're in the market for, but you see her pull this out and be like, I love this thing. It's wonderful. It's changed my life. And yeah, it's $600, right? And you think, oh my God, I could never afford that. Who would spend that much money on something like that? Oh my God, that's too expensive. You know you've done this before. Maybe not about an Airwrap, but something else, and probably many things in life. We often go around judging the price of things even if there's something we don't want, right? So let's say you don't even want the thing. You don't want the air wrap. You don't want the fancy bag. You don't want, the nice car the person is driving. You love your car, right? Like you're not in the market for that luxury thing. But we stop and we judge it, right? We really need to stop doing that, because what you're saying to yourself subconsciously, and I believe also as an extension of that, you're saying this to God, Spirit, the universe, you're putting a limit on yourself and saying that expensive things aren't for you. You're not worthy of expensive things. Like things having a higher price tag means it's out of your reach, and it will always be out of your reach. And you know what's going to happen is it's going to start creating these deep-seated limiting beliefs around you even being able to receive large amounts of money or nice gifts or things like that. And it's over something you don't even want. Like you didn't even want the thing to begin with, but you were judging it. So ladies, we need to collectively shift out of this. We need to stop judging other people's purchases, and a way that you can do this, right? I'm not saying that you have to go super positive, like, oh my God, that's so amazing that she bought the Dyson, or she got the new Range Rover, or whatever it is. You don't have to go there. But the thing that I tend to do when I'm seeing things out in the world that are not for me, right? They're not for me, is I just go, okay, pass. Okay, on to the next. Oh, I don't need that. Not for me. I'm good, right? You don't have to make it about the money. Make it about the thing, not being the thing you like, right? Like I know there's purses out there that like ladies love, and you guys know, like I love me some nice Chanel bags. There are tons of really nice pricey bags out there that people love, and I don't love them. But I would never be like, ew, I could never afford that. Like that wouldn't be the thing that I would say about the bag. The thing I would say is not my style, not for me, right? And in that way, I'm being very clear about what my desires are. I'm not making it about what I'm able to earn or spend money on in the future, right? So stop judging the price of things, especially if you don't even want it. Now, shift number 2 is almost on the same vein. We need to stop saying things like you can't afford this or that thing is too expensive, right? If it is something that you want, right? So this is the thing. You're totally allowed to want the things you want or like the things you like. And I understand for many of us, it may seem astronomical that someone might spend a lot of money on such a simple item. Let's say, like we all know that I have some Chanel handbags, right? I got a little collection now. Many of you may think they're beautiful. Some of you may think they're hideous and don't like them. And some of you may think, oh my God, I want to own that one day. And some of you may be thinking, I would never spend that much on a bag. Who could do that, right? And you're entitled to your opinion. You really, really are. But I want to help you work on your money mindset. So I don't want you to be saying that you can't afford those things. You'd never be able to afford those things because you're literally putting up this block that's telling the universe, don't give me nice things. Like, don't give me more money so that one day I could afford those things. And something else that I like to say about like judging the price of things, right? I know it's very easy to think that like if someone makes more money, right, that's why they're able to have access to nicer things, right? Or that, you may feel that you're limited by the amount of money that you earn in a year. But I want to be very honest with you. I have known people in my life who've made multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in income. And they were always freaking broke. They always spent their money. They didn't have any money in savings. Right? They had items, their home had a huge mortgage, their cars were leased, right? And I've also known people, and let me tell you, and they didn't dress like in fancy clothes, and they didn't necessarily, and some things they had were super nice, maybe some things weren't, right? And I've also known people who've made like $50,000, $60,000 a year, where I understand that to some people that may be a lot as well, but I'm just doing this for comparison's sake. But I've known people who've made like $50,000, $60,000 a year, and they've had a nice collection of designer things, right? And they had money in the bank, and they had a paid off home, right? And I know some of these little things have to do with opportunity, right? But you're never going to see opportunity if you're blocked by limiting money beliefs, right? So don't think that the amount of money you make right now is like the ultimate be all and end all of what you're going to be able to do with money and how much wealth you're going to be able to grow and things like that. Because you could be a rich person who lives poor, and you could be someone who's just like, we say $50,000 a year. It's like strongly middle class, right? Who actually lives a very comfortable, stable life, right? So this conversation isn't always so specific about like how much money it is that you earn and things like that, right? So I want you to be aware of that. So stop saying that you can't afford things or that they're too expensive. Don't judge other people's stuff. That was shift one. Don't judge other people's stuff if you don't want it. And if the thing is something that you do want, you do desire, but right now you don't think it's possible for you, right? Because let's be honest here. When you're saying that you cannot afford something, right? Let's go back to the Dyson Airwrap. Let's say you see the Dyson Airwrap and you want the Dyson Airwrap and it's a $600 hair thingamajig, right? And you're like, oh my God, I can't afford that. Let's be realistic here. For some of you who are saying that, you have a job and you make money and you may have $600 in the bank and you may have, a credit card that you could put $600 on. I'm not telling you what to do with your money right now. I'm just, using an example. You have income that comes in that's greater than $600, right? So theoretically, you do have the money that you could go and buy the thing. It may not be the most responsible financial decision though, right? So that's really what we're saying when we say, I can't afford that, I could never afford that, right? Because you know that it wouldn't be the correct financial decision for you, right? But all that means is it's not the correct financial decision for you right now. It doesn't mean that one day down the line, you wouldn't have a Dyson Airwrap, or that maybe someone wouldn't gift it to you, or maybe you like enter a raffle and you win one, right? Like there's so many other ways that you could get the thing. You don't want to make it about right now it's not the right financial decision for me, so it will never be possible for me, right? That is a limiting belief, a limiting mindset that we need to shift out of. So what do? Essentially, we are all walking around in life window shopping, right? With all different things. Actual material things, food, experiences, homes, cars, like everything around us. We're essentially getting this window shopping experience because most of the things that we encounter in our lives, we don't actually own. They're other people's things. There's things out there. So when we see something that it is that we do like, instead of saying, I can't afford that, too expensive, etc., what I want you to start doing is saying to yourself, I'd love that. Oh, one day I'm going to have that. Like, I'll take one of those, universe. Feel free to send one my way, God. You know what I mean? Like this is a shift from it's too expensive, I can't have it, to I'm open to receiving that. I'd love one of those. Like I would love to have one of those one day, right? Because we all have things like that we experience, right? And if you do really want the thing, right? Open yourself up. Don't limit yourself saying it's too expensive because it's too expensive for you right now, or that it's not the right choice for you right now. Don't put that limiting belief in your head. Focus instead on, how you can say, you know what, I can't wait to one day own that. Like that's something I want. And you know what I do when that happens to me, when I see something that I want that I right now know it's not a good decision to buy it? I'll take a picture of it, put it on a vision board, right? I'll put it on a wish list, right? If it's something I really, really want, I may actually start like setting aside money for it, right? Because I know that anything in this life that's material money-wise, I could eventually get it, right? If I accumulated money long enough and I was open to it, right? To be receiving it in different ways. And I was feeling positive about it, I know that I could eventually make it mine, right? It's just, is it a priority or not for it to become mine, right? So don't make it about the money, right? Don't make it about the money. When you see something you like, just say, I'll take one of those, please, right? Like your window shopping, I want one of those. I'll take two of those. I want that one in green and that one in purple, right? Like, you know what I mean? Start treating the world like you're window shopping and you're making like a major wish list for yourself, because you have no clue what's possible for you. But I'll tell you that nothing will be possible if you keep saying, I can't have that. That's not for me, right? Stop shutting yourself off to abundance. Okay? So shift number 3 that you need to make is you have to stop letting negative money situations limit you. Again, kind of like what I said before, just because you can't afford something right now doesn't mean it's the be all and end all that you're never going to be able to have it, right? So sometimes things happen in people's lives, right? Like an unexpected bill or something comes up, something breaks, right? And a lot of times people will use an example like that and be like, oh, see, manifesting doesn't work. Manifesting doesn't work because I was reciting my affirmations and trying to shift my stuff like Alexis said. And then all of a sudden I got a bill, right? An unexpected bill, or my car broke down, or my washer broke. And now there's more expenses in my life. Well, this is the thing about that. You need to not see expenses, right? Things that pop up. Yes, they suck. It sucks when that happens, but you need to stop seeing it as like a negative that means you could never have more. Again, what you're doing in that situation is just creating more evidence for limiting beliefs that are keeping you small and keeping you broke, right? As opposed to saying, okay, this is interesting that this bill came out of nowhere, or, oh darn, look, it's my car needs a new transmission. Okay, well, you can, obviously, you have to pay those things, or, however you're going to work it out. But instead of being negative about it, say something like, okay, universe, I'm open to receiving the money back for this. I'll pay this bill, right? Pay the bill or whatever, and say, okay, God, Spirit, Universe, feel free to send me this money back and more. I know you're going to give it back to me. You wouldn't have brought this up to me if you weren't going to bring me some more money, right? It doesn't hurt you to do that. And what it does do is it helps you to build up positive feelings and momentum around money and what is possible for you. And you don't even flipping know. Like, you may one day have an unexpected expense and you pay it off joyfully. And then guess what? The next week, you get a raise or something like that covers it. I can't tell you how many times things like that have happened to me. There was one story I used to tell where I was literally, this was when I first started my business. And so I was really bootstrapping. Like, I was in the first few months of being full-time for myself, where I didn't have a ton of money coming in. I had something happen with my car. And I had to take the car in to be fixed. And I was actually working at the car dealership that was, fixing it for me. And as I was sitting there working, going through my emails, I got I swear I did not expect this payment, an unexpected payment for the almost an exact amount of money of what the repair was going to be on the car. Like, it was just a little bit of change more. I actually think it was a little bit greater, but only, like, we'll say within 25 cents more than what the bill was for the car. Come on. You're telling me you're not open to those possibilities, right? Let me tell you, if anyone's deserving of those possibilities, it's me, it's you, but you have to acknowledge it, okay? So shift number 3 is stop letting negative money situations limit you and be like, oh, doesn't work. I'm always going to be broke, right? Don't make it mean anything, right? Don't make it mean anything. And on the contrary, you can always at any time say, okay, I'll pay this bill, God, Spirit, Universe. I trust you're sending me the money with interest back. Thank you very much, right? That is the sort of attitude you want to have about that. Okay, shift number 4 is you also need to stop refusing abundance that is offered to you or available to you, right? So I see this happen a lot, right? Sometimes we women, it's like there's like these weird stereotypes out there that like women are gold diggers, are always taking from people, or they're always selfless and they're too proud to take from people, right? So I know a lot of women who are too proud to accept gifts, or if someone offers to pay for you when you go out somewhere, right? They feel like, no, I have to be the one who pays for myself, right? But every time you say no or aren't gracious about a gift, right? Or anytime you walk past money on the street, right? Don't pick it up as well, right? You're telling your subconscious, right? Like, I am not open to receiving unexpected money. Look, we all want to be open to unexpected money. And sometimes the way we think about that is like the lottery. But let me tell you, unexpected money, again, abundance, because it doesn't have to be actual currency that you're receiving. Let's say you go out to lunch with your girlfriends and someone's like, you know what, I got a raise at work. I want to treat all of you guys, right? Don't say no to that. Say, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, right? That's it. Just say thank you. And then remember and feel in your heart and in your body, I'm someone who's worthy of good things happening to them. I'm someone who's worthy of surprises and people treating them and things like that. Because let's be honest, for many of you, you wouldn't accept, you have a hard time accepting gifts, or you have a hard time accepting things like that from people for free things and things like that. But you'll be the first person who also is the one who tries to pay for people, right? Or gives the gifts, right? So become a gracious receiver, right? Of all the different ways that the universe is trying to bring you money, bring you positivity, bring you abundance, etc. Okay? And shift number 5 that you need to make is you need to stop thinking that you don't earn enough money to begin growing your wealth right now. So this is another big one. How many of you out there right? Just feel like you don't make enough money yet to set up like an IRA or to set up an investment account, right? Or to really start investing and growing your money, right? How many of you feel that way, right? I'm going to be honest with you, right? The low income woman who invests a small amount of money each month into like a high yield savings account, even if it's just a few dollars, right, per month, right? That woman is going to have more wealth accumulated at the end of the year or at the end of 5 years or the end of 10 years, right, than a high income woman, right, who spends all of her money and never puts any of the money away. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It's how you use it that really makes the difference. So if you want to grow your wealth, start finding simple ways to save at amounts that are possible for you, right? The interest on $100 is higher than the interest on $0. So stop waiting until you earn more money or get some bonus or whatnot to start putting a little bit of money away, because that is the best way to grow your wealth, is just putting things aside for yourself. And it actually becomes something that becomes a little bit addicting, right? If you think that like having bad shopping habits is addicting, so is saving your money and watching it grow in accounts and just putting a little bit of money away, like on auto draft. And then all of a sudden remembering the accounts there and looking at it and being like, wow, I have a lot of money, right? It really can accumulate quickly, even in small increments, right? So I want you to stop thinking that you are not wealthy enough to be an investor. You're not wealthy enough you don't make enough money, right, to grow your wealth. You don't have any wealth to grow. Let me tell you, if you have a little bit of income coming in, even a little tiny bit saved in the right sort of accounts. And I'm sorry, I'm not the right person to talk about high yield savings accounts and things like that. I know there's other financial people out there, and I would recommend you seek them out. But even a little bit of money in a high yield savings account is better than none, right? It's better than none. Okay. So that is my 5th money mindset shift. I hope that this conversation has been helpful and enlightening to you and has given you some things to think about. Okay. Again, this is not about how much money you make. This is how you feel about and interact with money, because the more positive and the more optimistic you are about it, the more you are going to be able to see and seize opportunities when they are presented to you, right? So we want to do whatever we can to stop diminishing the way we feel about money, stop judging money, stop feeling like things are out of our reach, right? Start saving. Stop letting negative things like bills, be some sort of evidence that you're never going to be able to be wealthy. Wealthy people have bills too. And you know what? Their bills are even bigger. So you have to get comfortable with that feeling of, having to spend money, right? Unexpectedly sometimes, right? If you even hope to be wealthy one day, right? So I hope this conversation has helped you. I want to know which of these money shifts you want to start with. So leave me a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to share this with someone you think would find it interesting, another woman in your life. I don't often think that like people need to be sending all of my content all different places, but I think this would be a great conversation to send to a daughter, to a mother, to an aunt, to a sister, to your group of girlfriends. Like this is something that you guys should be talking about over brunch, right? Instead of like whatever's happening on TV or with celebrities or some people right? Start talking about how you guys can raise your money mindsets. And having like friends and accountability buddies in this process makes it easier. Okay. So thank you so much for watching and sharing this video. And make sure that you are following me on Instagram at MissTrenchcoat for more of the behind the scenes of my productivity life and business. And if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos by me. And until next time, bye-bye.